Hey guys, welcome back. I want to talk to you about a whole lot of things. However, we can only limit myself to one topic a day. And today I want to talk to you about building the nightmare. And by building the nightmare, I mean about how slowly but surely your mind is twisted in such a way where you start overthinking everything when you feel that everything that happens around you is purposely done to F you by a gang stalker or by gang stalkers. So, um, so it first starts with believing that everyone is watching you. So when you're getting gang stalked, there are going to be points or times where everyone is watching you, where everyone is aware of what you're doing. That's going to happen. However, that is not the majority of the time. So, but they have to do it enough where you believe that everyone is watching what you're doing all the time at all times. Now, I have realized that when I was in the homeless shelter, um, everyone was a gang stalker. Like everyone was engaging in it. So I'm not sure if it has to do with actual, you know, literacy and affluence of the neighborhood. And I really think that actually that has to do because people with, I mean, when there were a lot of like homeless people and people that were living on the streets, it was like really ghetto. Um, so so there were times where like everyone was literally where I felt that everyone was a gang stalker. However, when that was happening, I really was not able to differentiate between the gang stalking Kool-Aid or believing that I was getting watched all the time by everyone all the time, or if that was just a perception manipulation. I don't know because I when I was there I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. Now, I want to give you an example of how this thing is built. So it has layers. So first, okay, so they harass you, right? The by doing the petty harassment. We covered that in one of my previous videos. So the thing is that whenever when you're getting hurt, when you're are a victim of petty harassment, when you're not getting harassed, it has the rumination effect. So when you're not getting harassed, you are constantly thinking about how the harassment made you feel. You're focusing on it. So the harassment still continues in your mind, even when you're not, even when the harassment stopped. You are thinking about it. So it has it leaves this after effect that you're literally just thinking of the petty harassment when you're awake. And the thing is that when you are not thinking about it, the petty harassment is actually not even that often. You know, it might be really like really frequent in the beginning. However, it lowers. But when you're not focusing on the petty harassment, when you're not thinking about the incidents when they happen, after they happen, it's not as impactful. So that's one of the things that's how you start feeling like it's 24/7, because when you're not getting pettily harassed, you are thinking about being pettily harassed. You're thinking about everyone watching you, so you're continuously thinking about it, right? So now that has a really insidious effect. So it's building the foundation. Now then you start wondering. So if when you're thinking about it, it connects everything that happens around you. So I'm thinking about I'm getting gangstalked, I'm getting gangstalked. So then I look around and my brain will start to make connections with things that people do that are similar to the petty harassment that I have encountered. Such as, if someone just taps on the counter, if I am thinking about gang stalking, I'm going to assume that the tapping on the counter was gang stalking, was because of a gang stalker, and not because it is just a thing that people do. So it's like a chain that you have to get rid of the link, because if you're continuously thinking about gang stalking, you're gonna be making connections. So let's say that it's your first time, you're new at getting gang stalked. So you're getting pettily harassed, so you feel anxiety, you feel anger because it's unfair, and you feel that you're just looking at the world differently, right? You start believing that the headlights are because you're getting gang stalked, the turn signals are because they're getting gang stalked, people that smile at you because maybe they just want to smile, you start interpreting it, oh, they're a gang stalker. They're a gang stalker. So you're gonna start, maybe if you see someone wearing the same hat, or the same color of hat that you're wearing, you're gonna believe that's a gang stalker because they're mocking me because I'm wearing this hat. So, but the only reason that you're gonna be making these connections is because you are continuously thinking about gang stalking. Now, when that happens, then you're gonna start, when you're feeling that everyone is watching you all the time, you're gonna start making more connections. So let's assume that I'm still thinking about gang stalking, right? So now, let's say that I am learning how to parallel park, and I am parallel parking in public. I'm trying to learn, right? So then this actually happened to me, and I was trying, and I'm awful at parallel parking. I'm completely awful. I am absolutely incompetent at parallel parking. Like it's I don't have practice. I need to, I know, but there's always parking spots, and when I know I'm gonna be trying to parallel park, I'm like, no, I don't want to go. So that's how I am with parallel parking. Now, since I felt that everyone was watching what I was doing, I went to work, and I came back to park, and I found every single parking space was between two cars, where I was forced to parallel park. So because I was thinking of getting gang stalked, I'm getting watched, I believed my immediate reflex was gang stalker saw that I am incompetent at parallel parking, so everyone agreed on parking in such a way to force me to parallel park. And that's how gang stalking fucks with your mind. So when that happened, it's just a coincidence. It literally just happens that, it just happened like that. But, I closed my mind at that point, because if I would have just driven a block further, if there were parking spots, I went around the block, and I found a parking spot, and there's the thing, when you're looking around for parking, then you're going to have gang stalkers just go like, oh. And what is that going to tell you? What is that going to tell you? That it's going to confirm. It confirmed to me that gang stalkers did that on purpose. But gang stalkers are going to make all these kinds of like expressions, like, damn it, and and a lot of times they're not going to fit. But if you're thinking about getting gang stalked, like I was at that point in time, I was just looking for parking, and I saw a gang stalker do that expression. Guess what? I am the one that added context. Gang stalkers just make the faces to mess with you. That's the crux of gang stalking. Making you believe something that isn't real via facial expressions in a way that is extremely underhanded, and that no one can look for. So it's only true because I was looking out for the expressions. So this is the thing. I just stopped paying attention to the facial expressions of the people, and The moment that I stopped paying attention to the facial expressions, gang stalking completely was gone. It wasn't even, it wasn't a thing. It expired. It didn't exist, because gang stalking only consists of you paying attention to the gang stalkers. Now, let's keep adding to that. So now we're gonna dissect this whole thing with the facial expressions. So there were a lot of times. So gang stalkers, when you're getting gang stalkers know or think that they know that you're constantly thinking about that and you have a narrative. You know, for example, they were watching what I was doing, so I was waiting for a package, a vape, that could vape crystal meth. And it just never arrived. I never got it, and I was trying to get it I was checking Postal Annex to see if it would arrive. But then, you know, I went there and it just wasn't there. And then when I drove out of it, I saw a gangster going like this. Damn it. So, gang stalkers, pretty much, the gang stalker thought that I finally got my package. You know, because I'm sure they have seen me just going in and out of Postal Annex, you know, and I guess I seem pretty happy, you know. Or maybe not. The probability is that they just do that. Damn it. And let me tell you, I've seen they do that at random times, but when they think that you think, this is gonna get kind of confusing. Gang stalkers have an idea of the narrative that you're living. They do. And when you're not thinking about gang stalking, when you just cut that off your mind, gang stalkers are gonna be like, damn it, and it's gonna make no sense. It's gonna make no sense because you weren't thinking about anything that has to do with gang stalking. And I'm telling you this because I've seen it. However, when you're getting gang stalked, gang stalkers are building a narrative. They can deduce what you're thinking, because they're the ones that are putting the narrative, the false narrative. They're putting it on your life. So it has this effect. Remember, we're thinking constantly about gang stalking, right? So when you see them do an expression like, or you know, you're always, when you're getting gang stalked, you're always thinking gang stalkers this, gang stalkers that, gang stalker this, gang stalkers that. So whenever you see them doing something like that or getting impressed by something, it is you that puts the meaning onto that. It was I that put the meaning onto the parking. So there are times where it's gonna be weird. However, they are not very often. Most times they actually are wrong. Because they were wrong most times because I wasn't fully synchronized with them. So when they're putting the narrative, there is a literal psychological synchronization with the gang stalkers. So, but notice that it's only the gang stalkers that see you often. For example, I have some that I really don't explain well because I just cut them off. There are some that are quite uncanny. And let me tell you a couple of them. There was a time where I was always getting this microwavable bowl every day for breakfast. And I got to the store, and the frozen bananas, the Dolly chocolate covered frozen bananas. And I would get those two every morning. And one day they were out of those. What did I believe? Gang stalkers put them away to fuck me over. That's what I thought. So I just went and I got like another brand of the breakfast bowls, and then when I was checking out, the girl was just like, so what did I think? The girl didn't expect me to be smart enough to get another brand. So probably, so that's what she wanted me to think. Why? Because she saw me doing that quite often. And, so they have the narrative in your mind that, oh, he believes he's getting gang stalked. So then, if they know what you're going to be thinking, if something that you typically buy is not available for purchase, they know where your train of thought is, because they know how it goes. They know the entire process. They've done this before, or someone is telling them exactly how it goes. So the moment you are not synchronized with the gang stalker narrative, the things that they're going to do are not going to be making sense. Because you're not contextualizing what they do. Now, let's continue. I use that to the point that it gives me knowledge on how gang stalking is implemented. So because I'm not continuously thinking about gang stalking, the things that they do just look stupid now. But when you're getting gang stalked, it's so real. It feels like it's the truth. So I did in Parallel Park. I just found another parking spot somewhere else. But if I'm looking for parking, right? Because I wasn't able to find parking where I typically park. A gang stalker will go like that. Because I found parking somewhere else. So they know that you're having the gang stalker narrative, and they know that you're assuming that they blocked all the parking spots. Why? Because when you're getting gang stalked, you start believing that every inconvenience, you will start attributing it to gang stalkers, that it was purposely done by gang stalkers to you. That's the narrative. So that's what they make you believe. And they know that's where your mind goes. So they just do the facial expressions to perpetuate that mindset. Oh, I forgot what was I gonna talk? What was the initial topic? Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. So that is how the nightmare starts being built. So there is petty harassment, leads to rumination, leads to more petty harassment, and the more you ruminate about it, your mind starts making more connections. So the petty harassment is that, so you're always thinking about it. You always feel angry. And in the beginning, it is very intentional, and it's obvious that it's intentional. It is just for you to be thinking about it. There will be a time where literally, I think mine was actually months where literally everyone around me was gang stalking me. And it just, that was my reality for a while. If everyone was literally a gang stalker around me, I'm not sure. However, my perception at the time was that everyone was a gang stalker. But that happened after months of petty harassment, which petty harassment literally just makes you ruminate about it because you're mad. So that's how the illusion is built. They build the illusion via facial expressions and via petty harassment and via indirect conversations or indirect messages. So, how do you prevent all of this from happening? The whole thing. Let's assume that everyone is, that I'm in the petty harassment phase, and that everyone is a gang stalker at this point. What would I do different if I knew everything that I know and I was getting gang stalked from zero? Okay, this is exciting. I would... Well, I would just do what I'm doing now. It is psychological. It really is psychological. So first, let's say that I'm like a complete... I'm still using drugs. Let's say that I'm still using drugs and I'm still getting harassed. So let's do that. I'm smoking crystal meth every day. And I'm still going to work and I'm getting continuously gang stalked. So what I do is literally not fight it, but I will keep my mind entertained with other things that I want to be thinking about, such as, oh my God. So let me tell you. So there was a time where everyone at work for hours on end, everyone was going like that. Everywhere I looked, my boss, everyone at work was being part of it. And literally my boss was almost crying because it had no effect on me. I was just like ignoring it. And they were doing the whole thing wherever I looked for months, dude. And my boss was literally like, she had tears in her eyes because I wasn't responding to any of the gang stalking. Oh my God. And that shit was fucking funny. Because she was crying because they were literally trying to do that month, and I just ignored everything. And everyone did that like, hey, like behind my back, and I never turned around. They were doing all kinds of crazy shit. And my boss was literally crying. And my boss was literally teary-eyed because nothing was working. They worked so hard, so incredibly hard. And it was funny. So I also remember that there are people that went to the store and they were like, yeah, he's using again. And I realized that whenever I would look away, when someone would, like, I didn't have the ability to look anyone in the eye when I was using, because I felt that they could see that I was high. However, last time I used, I literally just wasn't thinking, I wasn't paranoid about them finding out. And I was just working. And I was able to look at my boss in the eye. And she was like, oh, he's fine. And everyone still gang stalked me at work, except my mom. I mean, sorry, my mama just called. Well, except my boss. But so they are made to believe that it's a drug treatment, you know. Or, well, I don't think so anymore, because last time that they were gang stalking me, my coworkers, and I didn't care for it. I completely ignored it. They got tired of doing the same thing. They were like disappointed. Like, I thought I had to go to work last time they did like the big gang stalking operation. So I showed up to work like nothing ever happened. And my coworker Maximus, he was just like, boo, ugh. Like, he wasn't over with me. I mean, that's a good signal for me. I take it as a good sign. Because yeah, I'm gonna displease gang stalkers. Anyways, that is how the illusion is built. It starts with petty harassment, rumination. Then after that, it's used because you're ruminating. You start paying attention to what other people are doing, because you are thinking, are they a gang stalker? Are they not a gang stalker? They're probably a gang stalker. And then all of a sudden, everyone is a gang stalker. So to combat that, you literally have to have the ability to bounce back immediately from petty harassment, from injustices that were done to you. You have to learn how to look at the petty harassment as a form of petty harassment, and you do not allow it to disturb your mind. You know, thinking about it, gang stalking is a mind disturbance, a mental disturbance, where it just produces feelings of anxiety, of anger. But I realized that from the moment that I began to get gang stalked, my mind was continuously disturbed. And if they weren't disturbing it, I was disturbing it by thinking about it. So that's how you have to learn how to not think about it, even when everyone wants you to. So that's how the illusion is built. It has phases, it has layers, and there is an easy way out of it. Get rid of the people that perpetuate that. Think of something that you want to think about. Envelop your mind on something that will help you get better, and be on a furious quest to make all your dreams come true. Do not allow anything else to be in your mind other than what you want to do in the future. Start working on it now. Thank you for watching. Please share and subscribe. I love your comments. I love your comments about not agreeing with me. I appreciate those. Which is actually, I really appreciate those, because they're helping me develop new video ideas. So we're going to talk about patents, because that's the one thing that everyone uses. Oh yeah, well, how was this patent not approved? There is something called prophetic patents that we're going to go over, which pretty much means that there can be a completely fictional technology. However, people can make patents for it. On my next video, we're going to talk about what champions are made of. You can use gang stalking to learn possibly one of the best skills that you can possibly ever have in your life, and that is bouncing back unharmed. Thank you for watching. Bye.